Hey everyone, it's Keith. We want to welcome you to Forgetting Walls, the podcast. Yep, episode 19 is at hand, and we just want to say thanks for joining us and hope you stick around through the whole episode. We start out, as we usually do, goofing around, joking around, talking about football, talking about hunting drones, even talking about marijuana, where it's legal and where it's not. But this week's meat and potatoes is a little bit different. We talk about, well, we're really asking about each other. This week, we ask each other questions. Skylar, Keith, Justin, and myself spend a little time getting to know each other from the very deep side of things to the very not so deep side of things. You know how we do it. Not very professional. But anyways, just want to let you know that. By all means, stick around and join us. Fast forward, rewind, do what you want. We're going to produce a video to show you how to do those things at some point, hopefully this week. But anyways, go to the webpage, check us out, forgettingwalls.com. Like us on Facebook, check us out on Twitter. And always, if you ever get the chance, share your story. Tell us about you, because you're always hearing about us and what we think. We would like to know what you think. It's time for that dubstep. What's happening, everybody? Guys and girls, we want to welcome you to Forgetting Walls, the podcast.
Woo!
I'm Keith, and what a great night. What a great night. As always.
Why is it a great night?
Justin has no idea what's going on tonight.
Well, let's just go through the introduction. Coming from our third favorite college in the state of North Carolina.
Hey!
Third.
There's that many colleges in North Carolina?
Well, watch your mouth
there's
now.
a lot.
Well, watch your mouth now.
Just in the UNC system, there's like 15, I think. No, that's too many.
Justin Davis.
Woo! Hey, guys.
And to my right, a guy who loves the worst college in North Carolina, Keith Hughes.
How's it going?
And a guy who has no affiliation with North Carolina, Skylar Miller.
Hey, I live here.
Yes, it's a good night.
Sound of tar.
Yeah, before you guys talked about it, I had no idea what was going on tonight. So
Yeah, man.
go ahead and get it off your chest, because it's going to be on your mind.
Like, it's somewhere around the third to fourth most exciting day of the greatest sport in America is happening tonight.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can
please.
agree with that.
Really?
Generally agree with that
Yeah.
statement.
Now, I didn't say Canada, I said America. So we're talking about the NFL. If we was talking about Canada, it'd been curling. And we did talk about, the draft. No, anyways, the NFL draft is today,
Okay.
this evening.
It's ongoing right now.
Yeah, it is actually in process. We have a live feed update happening that I can see. Just
Will you guys be able to do the podcast?
it's going to be
They're
tough.
really distracted.
It's going to be tough. I'm waiting to see if Oakland picks Amari Cooper. They probably will. But we did see Jameis Winston go number one, as I predicted.
And a little bit of a surprise, Marcus
Yeah,
Mariota going number 2.
Yeah, Mariota went two. And I'm figuring Skylar and
Names,
Justin
numbers, yay.
just
we're all following this, man. We're with you.
But I don't want let's not get sidetracked. It's going to be interesting tonight because our Skype feed with Justin is basically just audio. So
I don't know why. I can see you guys perfectly.
yeah, we always have an issue with your video feed.
Oh, whatever.
Oh,
I don't
shots
know.
fired.
I don't know what it is. It's always your video feed. It's
always you.
Yeah,
It's always
it's
you.
always Justin. But it's all good because as long as we can hear you, we're not recording video.
We don't want to see you. We
Yeah.
just want to hear you.
Yeah. Well, we know you're there, but if something happens and we don't hear you, we're just going to keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep trucking.
You might want to text us if you get
Go on
kicked
without
off or
me.
something.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Please text us if something happens on your end.
10 minutes goes by.
Okay.
Justin, you there?
Well, Bobby Dagnes was supposed to be with us tonight, but unfortunately he was unable to join us. So,
Oh, man.
God dang it, Bobby.
well, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I think we're perfectly capable. We had what a week with our podcast though, for real. Like all the issues we were having with just the feed being played, couldn't download it at iTunes.
Who broke it? Someone broke it.
Now, see, here's the funny thing: iTunes is supposed to be like the stuff when it comes to podcasts, right? It's supposed to be the place you can get it.
The go-to.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's where the pod portion comes from.
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Pods.
right. And then all of a sudden they have the worst app
Ugh.
Yeah,
for
that app is really
podcasts.
terrible.
And I couldn't get our podcast to play, download, or anything, but I can go over to Stitcher, and it works like a charm.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin's back. What's up? Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
It looks like the Raiders picked Amari Cooper.
Sweet.
So it's a little draft update.
Little
draft
update,
yeah.
39 PM.
We can continue to do that all night. But speaking about the podcast, though, we did get it fixed. I got the link fixed, and and the good thing is that we are able to actually track analytics properly
Yeah.
now.
We're data mining everybody.
So, I mean,
If
we
you download
just-
our
cool.
podcast. We are data mining
Yeah. We're going to figure out how to give you the right ad at the right time on your Facebook feed.
Yeah.
I want to know how did Facebook know the moment I looked at Zenni Optical? I mean, the moment I looked at it, because I'm looking for cheaper glasses just to have some extra pairs. And then I pop back over to Facebook, and guess what I see? An ad for.
It's those cookies, man.
Yeah, them-
Facebook is all about some
Yep.
cookies.
Oh,
Track
for
of those
real.
things, man.
Oh, absolutely. I know.
Cooks.
Well, I mean, I understand the whole process of it, but then that reminded me, oh, I did not turn off my cookies and everything else that tracks me. We got to fix that.
It's funny because I was actually watching the episode of Parks and Rec today. I don't want to spoil it. It's in season 7. If you haven't seen it, stop listening right now. But in season 7 of Parks and Rec, the one that came out this year, the last season, the company Grizzle that Ron has been working for and Leslie's kind of opposed to, they've been data mining everybody, and like they've been like reading everybody's texts and stuff, and they sent like drones to everyone's houses with like a box filled with gifts like that, like private gifts. Like, it's crazy. I'm pretty sure that actually happens. We just don't know about it.
That's pretty much how it goes on the internet.
Amazon, Google. So now guys in like suits are going to show up at my house.
Oh, about those drones, the Amazon drones that fly around and deliver your packages.
yeah.
Oh, when I saw that article, I was like, dude, I'm down.
Yeah.
But if you send that drone to my house and I can get close, I may have me a drone.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere in the South, people are going to have like nets and shotguns and try to shoot them out of the sky.
You know that's going to be a new sport.
Get me a drone.
Amazon drone
Yeah.
shooting.
The North Carolina Wildlife Federation or Resource or whatever they are is going to send out a new email next week saying, all right, we have the new license available, Amazon drones.
Yep.
You can bag too. Here's your
Bag
tags.
them and tag them.
The season runs from like July to August.
Right.
It's a short season.
Somebody has like a drone mounted on their wall.
Yeah.
You
Shot
can't-
this beauty back in the day.
You can't spotlight the drones either.
No,
Can't spotlight the drones.
no spotlighting the
Illegal.
drones.
Only shoot them between 7 a.m. and like 7 p.m.
Yep.
And you got to tag them where they fall too. You can't.
Yep.
You can't.
No, that's right. There's no field dressing them. You must tag them on the spot, and you got to call that 1-800 number and let them know I've got me a drone.
But if you're a farmer though, you can kill them and leave them where they are.
Right,
They mess
because
with
it-
the crops.
Yeah, because it interferes with your crop production.
Yep.
Are there male tags and female tags?
There are actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you distinguish between the two?
Color drone.
The color of
Color.
the drone. Yeah.
More
The
colorful.
females are very drab, and the
Yeah.
males are very colorful.
Usually, that's
Just
usually how
like
it goes.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
really
most.
Yeah, only in the human world is that backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can only bag two males per year, but you can
Right.
get about 5 females because
Yeah.
they're a little overpopulated.
Yeah. We see way more drab drones flying in the air than we do the pretty colorful ones.
Yep.
Yeah. Very rare, very rare.
It's pretty exciting to
Yeah.
sit in your blind out in the woods and see a nice, beautiful, colorful drone come.
Got to be very quiet because they can spot you, with the GPS tracking and
Oh yeah,
They smell your
system.
fear.
they really can, man.
And you wait until they get those infrared models.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough. But it just depends who's on the other end flying that joker.
That's true, right?
Dang it, I lost another one. You're fired. That's 5 this year. You're better than that. Anyways. Hey, everybody.
We ran that joke into the ground.
got
Yeah.
You think that was a joke, right?
I'm sure it's going to come back and...
Oh, we're going to get emails from Amazon lawyers pretty soon.
Yeah, how dare you?
In fact, we may already have them on our phones because,
Yeah.
of course, they are data mining us.
Yeah, the data. Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We were talking earlier in the week, and we've been thrown around. We were actually supposed to record a full on podcast Monday, or at least our interview meat and potato section this Monday with a special guest who, no names yet.
Even though I think you revealed that. Didn't
Even though
2
you
weeks
revealed
ago?
it like 3 podcasts
hold on a
ago.
second. If y'all would have never said anything, nobody would have knew who it was. They would have been
I
like,
know, but I can't let you get away with that.
"Come on now."
We're super good at planning.
But this week, this Monday, we should be able to have a special guest on with us. So you got to make sure you listen to next week's episode. But this week's episode, we're going to do something a little different. We kind of got together and said what we want to do is we want to, I guess, dig into each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe wrong choice of words.
Cool.
That's a little
Yeah.
scary.
No, I like it.
You like that?
I like it with spoons or like just with our fingers, or I don't know how you want to do this.
Well,
Someone did threaten to rip out my throat earlier. This
Yeah, we
evening,
did. We
so-
did have a
Nice.
full-on throat ripping.
Okay.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. Well, of course, anytime Keith walks in
Right.
my house, Chuck has a threat.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly who I thought of
Yeah.
when he said
Yeah.
that.
It's either I will stab you, rip out your throat, tear off your head. It's always something very violent, which
It's really violent.
I don't know where she gets it from.
I wonder.
I have an idea. I've got 2 guesses. No, I've got 1 guess.
My dad.
Because you just threw off all that responsibility there.
Well, you were talking about like digging in each other with spoons and stuff. I just finished watching the last season of Sons of Anarchy. Yes, Christians, I watch Sons of Anarchy. I'm going to hell, right?
That's terrible.
It's terrible. But in the last somewhere between the last 3 to 4 episodes, there was a lot of eye digging out the eyeballs.
Is that gouging? Is that what gouging is?
Well, I think
more scooping.
Jax did the gouging, but there was a
Okay.
guy he was torturing a guy, which was quite entertaining. Okay, we know where the violence comes from.
Super morbid, dude.
Oh, speaking of morbid.
So
Just torturing this dude. It was great.
So
it was-
I'll give you since Chuck walked in the room. So he said a grapefruit spoon is the perfect utensil to dig out an eyeball. And she says she knows. That's my daughter.
Noted.
So oops, no, go back.
I actually am a little scared right now.
Yeah. You don't
when
see
she-
any grapefruit spoons laying around, do you?
and
I
see,
want-
like, all the experiences I've had with eye surgeries and, like, eye problems,
Yeah.
like, that's just terrifering.
Oh,
Your $1 million eyes.
Which Final
Yep.
Destination was it? Final Destination 2, where she goes to the eye doctor. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen him.
Go
but
watch that, and it'll freak you totally
No.
After Final Destination 1, I just
Yeah, how many is there? Like
it's like
10?
6.
6?
There's something
Yeah,
crazy.
something crazy like that.
But the first one, I'll tell you how good it is since we got to Final Destination. Good place to go.
Yeah, that's true.
So it first comes out in the theater. I'm thinking it's like 1999, 2000ish. And so we're at Fort Stewart, and me and my wife and a bunch of buddies would go eat. We want to go to see the movie, so we go down to Savannah, get in the movie theater, and watch this movie. Now, you all know, if you've not seen Final Destination 1, this is going to be the biggest spoiler of all. So, in the movie, the girl walks off in the bus. Bam! Hits her, right?
Right.
And it freaks you out because it comes, now since that moment, they've done that joke or that.
Yeah, it's played out. It's played out
real
now.
bad.
Right.
So, we see it, and we're in a movie theater, and we come out of the movie theater, and as we walk out of the movie theater and step on the sidewalk, a bus drops right in front of us. And everybody who was in that movie, it was a full movie theater, and we all come out, everybody just goes, "What?" And everybody starts laughing. So it's
Everybody watching your crowd was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it was the craziest thing because it's the first time I've seen the simultaneous little joke thing play out for 100+ people at one time.
Right.
So it was excellent.
That's cool.
But maybe not as funny to people who are listening, but hey, it was awesome for me because there was nothing like it. Kim really has a vivid memory of that as well. It was good. It was real good. But so what else is going on? Because I got us something I want to start out with before we get into meat potatoes today.
Okay.
And it's going to melt your mind.
All right.
So
The microwave?
I feel like that would be a good scene in Final Destination.
Yeah.
mind melting.
Mind melting.
Like a candle.
That's interesting.
But yeah, what is it, Keith?
Well, I downloaded on my personal phone StumbleUpon, and I was doing a little stumbling today because I
Okay.
felt not very creative.
Right.
So, wow. And go to figures, I'm going back to StumbleUpon to get to the thing I want to look at, and the first thing I see in my stumble is 7 countries that still kill witches. We won't get to that, but
We don't do that anymore.
Well, good for them. We really don't need
We
those
really,
witches.
we really need. I should send a letter to my congressman about setting up a new division of like the Central Intelligence Agency or NSA or somebody. Not the NSA.
NSA.
One of those defense departments. Check
one
out
of those ones
witches.
that'll be at your house tonight
Yeah.
because,
oh gosh, yeah.
Google will tell them.
Yeah, Amazon's already got your number.
Oh well, I'm pretty sure the NSA is still pretty active in listening to us anyway.
So I came across something today I thought would be really good for, I guess we're semi-intelligent people here.
Give or take, yeah.
All right.
So
Ballpark it.
I don't know if I can agree with that statement.
So what I saw was it said 12 mind-melting riddles you don't stand a chance at solving.
Oh, bring it.
So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do a little game.
I'm going to stick my
Okay.
phone away from myself so y'all know I'm not cheating. If
All
I
right.
happen to get
All
it.
right. So Justin, no hands on the keyboard in there.
We'll hear it.
Yeah, because when Justin types, it's. So here's what we'll do.
All right.
The first person, you just answer. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
the winner gets, a year supply of nothing.
Oh.
All right.
I
Sweet.
always
Always
wanted
wanted that. Yeah.
Can't live without that nothing.
I want it, Keith. I want it. Bring it.
All right. So here's your first one.
All right. Oof.
What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? I'll give everybody about 10 seconds before we move on.
Listen a moment.
Any guesses?
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, I've
Is it the letter N
Dang
or
it. Wait,
The-
no. He said N.
Oh.
Ding, it's the letter M.
He is right. The letter M.
Wants that.
never? Oh, never in 1,000
Lifetime.
years. Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know. I forgot how many you said in
Okay.
1,000 years.
Ooh.
All right. You ready for this?
There we go.
What has 4 fingers and a thumb, but is not living? You've got about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Because I'll have to
Four-
edit out all the long pauses.
Right.
Sure.
Four fingers and
And
a thumb.
but is not living.
But is not living.
A dead man.
No.
Well, technically, yes.
Well, that's actually true.
Pretty literal.
Good job.
Actually, a dead man has 8 fingers and 2 thumbs.
A dead one-armed man.
Half of a dead
Any
man.
other guesses than the dead man?
4 fingers, a thumb, and is not living.
I
I don't know if I know this one.
You ready for the answer? Because y'all look
These are
Yeah.
new. These are
Yep.
actually new to me. So.
a glove.
Hey.
Whoa.
Okay.
Be obvious, right?
This should be pretty easy. Okay, which word in the dictionary is spelt incorrectly?
Incorrectly.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This one should be a little bit harder. We hurt without moving. We poison without touching. We bear the truth and the lies. We are not to be judged by our size. What are we?
A book.
No.
Trees.
No.
Let's see. I don't know. I'd have to see the riddle in front of me. That's hard. I don't know.
You were close, Keith. Words.
Words. Okay.
All right, here you go. Give me food and I will live. Give me water and I will die. What am I?
Oh,
A fire.
I know this one.
A fire?
There you go, Keith. Fire.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
winning, by the way.
One.
Oh yeah, Keith is definitely winning.
Oh, we're keeping track.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I got to give away that year supply of nothing.
My mind's already so
psyched,
melted.
man.
I know. Skylar's over there like, this
just like-
beer is good.
I was just like, whoa, bro.
What flies when it's born, lies when it's alive, and runs when it's dead?
Flies when it's born.
This is weird. This is not mind melting. This is just weird.
Flies when it's born, lies when it's alive,
And runs when it's dead. It would be something good to, if nobody's ever heard them, to really win something.
Yeah, these are my. This is the first time I'm hearing these. This is good. These are good
I'm glad I'm stumping you. Any answers?
No.
I don't
Negative.
know.
Snowflake.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Runs.
Wait.
Oh, I guess so.
flies. Yeah,
I know. Like I said, it was.
okay.
But it's not
Right.
dead.
Water.
How can a snowflake be dead? That's an inanimate
true.
object.
It's not technically living.
Well,
Yeah,
true.
it's not technically living. So how can it die? And how can it be born? It's just it's created.
It's figurative.
like out of it's formed together out of molecules.
It's poetry,
And then
man.
it-
Hold on. Let me
breaks- it
explain
changes the
this.
state of matter.
You've got to break your theology.
It's not. This isn't theology.
You got to
this is
go with the
physics.
allegorical. You got to go with the allegoricalness of the.
Technically, that's chemistry, I think. But
Yeah, you're right.
Well, physics is just chemistry is just applied physics.
All right. So, what gets wet when drying?
a towel.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I am always there, some distance away, somewhere between land or sea and sky. I lie. Oh, I lay. You may move toward me, yet distant I will stay.
The horizon.
Horizon. Yes. We're getting these at like the same time.
Yeah. I am a mother and a father, but have never given birth. I am rarely still, but I never wonder. What am I? Never wander.
Ooh, a mother and a father, but you've never given birth.
These
You
things,
never wander.
yeah, it's like once because I'm just looking at the answers. I don't care, and I'm like, that's stupid. Why would you say it like that? You're just going to make them think too hard. It's a tree, Keith.
Oh,
What? Again, what? How's that? I don't get that.
oh
at all.
I mean, it's right. I mean, because it doesn't give birth. It's not an animal. It's not a mammal.
Right, but it's a mother and a father.
Yeah, because it contains both female and male. What do you what would you
Sexual
call it?
organs.
Yeah.
Gametes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
it's always moving. It's rarely still, but it never wanders because it can't
Yeah,
go
that's
anywhere.
actually really good.
It's rooted.
Okay, I like that.
That's sweet.
Okay, so I have keys but no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but can't go outside. When am I?
Have space but no rooms. You can enter, but you can't go outside.
You can enter.
Oh, keyboard.
There you go.
Okay.
Keyboard.
Oh, enter.
Nice.
I can only live where there is light, but I die if the light shines on me. What am I?
Shadow.
There you
Shadow.
go.
Yeah.
Every night I'm told what to do, and each morning I do what I am told. But I
Alarm.
still don't escape your scold. What'd you say?
I said alarm.
There you go.
Yeah,
Skylar was in the last one.
Oh, Skylar, sweeping it in.
I just wanted to do something different, little.
Yeah, that was good.
A little fun, maybe.
I like that.
You know, seeing. Because here's the funny thing. Justin and Keith are like, Skylar's over there like, just chilling, like, yep,
So yeah, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Just take a little swig over here.
yeah, you know. Keith's over here smoking it up, meaning
like
brain
Yeah.
smoke.
Wait,
Brain
what?
smoke.
I'm sorry, we're not in the legal states yet. which speaking of that, let me ask your opinion real quick.
Yeah.
So,
All right, go for
a few Christians, the Buddhist here, which I don't want to give too much away because I may give too much away of one of my questions tonight. Did I ever actually get to the point that we were talking about tonight? Because we got off
No,
track
you
with
really
the
didn't.
digging into a person.
I don't even know what
We'll
we're
get
talking
there.
about now. What are we doing tonight?
Well, so and by the way, I'm doing the pre-recorded intros for our show, so people will know what we're talking about
cool.
before they get to it.
okay,
But for people
So
who
they'll know
fast,
before us, okay.
right? They'll know. They actually will know before y'all. In the linear time scale of what they're listening to, they're like, "Oh, I knew before you did."
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be asking each other questions tonight that will help provoke discussion and maybe shine a little bit light on the people who are on this podcast. Because I guess we've talked. I think Keith is probably the only person who hasn't shared a lot of his story. Yeah. And maybe we'll pick a podcast that will just let Keith open him up.
I try not to tell people about myself because I don't want people to know about myself.
No. I'm super narcissistic, and so is Keith, so we love talking about ourselves.
Oh my gosh, all we do is talk about ourselves on this podcast. But don't get me wrong. Give Keith 5 minutes, and he will give you some stories.
Yeah, I do have some stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get them.
And all of them start with the lines, one time at band camp.
Oh, yeah.
I do have a couple of those.
Let's see.
Okay,
let's throw back a story. When I first met Keith, I think they were about freshmen, sophomore-ish, I think, because y'all were all in the band.
Yep.
And Wesley, who we speak about much on this show.
Oh, he had a mullet then.
Oh, man, my gosh, it was so good.
That sounds rad.
And this was like 2005, so it's not like this was like 1991.
That's the peak. That's the peak.
Yeah, that was the peak of mulletism. No, it wasn't. My high school was the peak of when the mullet happened, but no. But and all I ever heard was like, fall time. They were like, and this one time at band camp, and I was like. And because I come from the the true American Pie era, where that
I was just gonna say, they made a movie based on
but they weren't meaning to it, and the stories weren't as American Pie-ish as a couple of them were.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's inevitable.
It's funny because the whole American Pie thing. When I was in band in high school, none of that. I didn't think I never saw any of that. But as we got older and I started talking to more people I went to high school with, apparently some of that stuff does happen.
As he got more curious.
Well, let's see. I got pictures from band camp where Miles was dressed as a woman.
Oh, that's pretty typical.
That happens. Band camp all across the world.
Right? But anyways.
But to get back to our point, what were you saying about smoking it up?
Legal states.
Oh, look, legal states, yeah. I was going to say, thanks, Justin, for ruining the rabbit trail.
No problem.
He just shot the rabbit. No more trails. But so from your standpoint, because Colorado and Washington have legalized marijuana for recreational use.
Is that it?
Yes.
That's it right now, right?
Yeah, that's it as far as
the District of Columbia.
District of Columbia. Yeah, well, because all the politicians got to go get smoked out before they go into Congress. Because how could you sit through that? Without being high. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're high when they're making laws.
Yeah, because every time I see one come out, I'm like, you what? Anyways, so what do you think about a person? Now, of course, I guess you can maybe do it from wherever you sit as your theological stance or your religious background beliefs.
Right.
Where do you sit with the whole smoking weed being legal?
It's
smoking pot?
Being legal?
Yeah, being legal. Like if you lived in Colorado or Washington and you could just, hey, there's a bodega down the street, I can go get me a little baggie or a THC lollipop, or hey, they got some nice hemp brownies going on and I can pick those up.
Oh yeah.
What's your take and stance on that?
I mean, I'm okay with it being legal personally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, totally cool with it.
I don't think
Keith, would you partake in it?
I wouldn't personally. No.
Justin, how about yourself?
I mean, I have a little more of a history with that, but I don't think I would partake in it. At least not regularly. I wouldn't make it a habit to do so. But that gets, I don't know, that gets into a lot of different theological and why, and just I mean, first of all, I don't really like smoking things. That's never been a thing. Even cigarettes, cigarettes and stuff. It's never been it's never really appealed to me. So I doubt I probably would.
Word.
But yeah,
what about you, Mr. Buddhist?
It's pretty much accessible at all times, even though it's illegal. So
no, I know, but
especially up here app.
Well, no, I mean it's always been accessible. I mean, I was the legitimate pothead in high school.
Oh, we all know that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, you can tell. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
but
I used to a little bit, but now,
I'm saying, but if it's legal, I mean, it's something you don't have to hide.
Yeah,
it's regulated. Would you walk down the street and grab you whatever it was and partake in it?
I probably wouldn't, because I'm just not a huge fan of smoking either. But I hang out with people who do all the time, and it's whatever. Yeah.
Well, okay, that's good to know.
Word.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Because see, my thing is Okay, so I'll say this. Okay, so alcohol. We all drink alcohol. We have a beer. We have a glass of wine.
We're all drinking currently.
Yeah, we all have a beer now. So, and we lost like all our conservative listeners.
Nah.
But my stint with the correct term of marijuana or cannabis or whatever you want to call it.
Cannabis.
Sativa.
Cannabis.
Yeah.
Marijuanas.
Got your little Mary Jane. But
It's 1965.
it is all over again. And none of us were there. You look at the difference between those two, and I'm thinking there's a lot less. And for me, and I know that alcohol in itself is made from stuff that is natural, but there's still a process
Right.
to get it. But weed is all natural. There's very little. I mean, there are some places that add stuff to it, but But for the most part, it's a natural substance. And I'm just giving my point of view, and people will probably berate me for this.
Oh gosh.
But let me tell you something. There's two smells in the world that I love.
Yep.
And when I was younger, back in the day, and when we smoked weed, that was the one smell I could smell a mile away. And then like, whoa, that smells great.
Like, there it is.
That's the one smell that burnt. And I was like, it's good. When I was in Atlanta for a youth conference, no, I didn't smoke weed for. But we were
Be
there.
careful where this is going.
And somebody's like, you need to go to the Underground Mall down in Atlanta. And we were like 4 blocks from it. So me and Kim walked down the street. And we're walking down the street in Atlanta. And about every 50 feet, I'd catch a whiff of it. And dude, brothers just be, and everybody be just like, what up, man?
Yeah.
And then the little white dudes on the corner be like, yeah, I got some of this, man. And you just see them everywhere. I'm like, dude, they're out on the street downtown Atlanta. It's burning it up. Blunts, joints, pipes. It didn't matter. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I was in New Orleans not too long ago.
Yeah, and it's almost every big city that it's like that, especially downtown areas. But it was, because I'd been so closed in because of the ministry or being in ministry in the church for so long,
right?
That I lost that touch with reality. You get sheltered by the religion of it all. So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of throw it out there and see what y'all thought.
Yeah,
because.
It's only a matter of time before the history books read back in the day when the marijuana prohibition. It's all going to be legal pretty soon, just like booze was illegal. Right.
Well, technically, I think it's still against federal law, even in
it is,
which applies to all states, but it's not like the federal government is going to spend money to enforce it.
I think the only way it applies through federal, really, they're going to enforce it if you're a federal employee. Yeah.
Right.
And then you get, like, if you're in Colorado or Washington and you're on an Army base and you smoke weed and you piss hot, guess what? You're going to get an Article 15 for that, and they're going to take your money and make you do a lot of extra work after hours. That's just what happens. So,
right.
It's just the way, and you'll have to go to counseling, and you could possibly get kicked out, but I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, Oh, go ahead, Justin.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I have a point after you.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's like the NFL. I mean, it's legal, in Colorado. So people in Denver, the guys in Denver and the guys in Seattle, if they smoke and they piss hot on the test, for the NFL, they can still get suspended, even though it's legal in those 2 states. So you're going to see a lot of things. I think you're going to see a lot of things change about weed, and people are going to get a little less scared about marijuana. Because, honestly, you'd probably want more people doing weed than you want them doing anything else, because they're going to get a little chill. They're going to go to sleep, and it's going to be all she wrote. Because, let me tell you, I had a lot of trouble sleeping as a teenager for some reason. That's what I do to go to sleep. Anyways, go ahead, Justin.
About.
Yeah, so I was one of my friends mentioned this the other day, and like Louis C.K. Do you know who he is? The comedian.
Yeah.
So he did an interview with NPR recently, and he said, I have the quote right here. He said the thing, and it's talking about like parents having like the drug talk with their kids, and I think he made a really interesting point. And he said the thing that I think is important to know if you have kids, especially teenagers, is that they're people, that the people they meet that are going to offer them drugs are not bad people. They're really cool people.
Yeah.
The fiction that you tell kids that people that offer you drugs are evil is not a good fiction to tell them, because they're going to be cool people who like them. That's why drugs are so easy to fall into as a kid. Right away, it's like, well, my parents are liars because this person is cool. This person understands me better than they do. That's part of why people do drugs. It's because they're making a connection with people who they feel really strongly about.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a really interesting point.
Yeah.
Especially in how, like, you tell children, like your kids about,
It's interesting because I remember, and I talk a lot, from a Christian perspective, I used to tell these stories a lot because I would tell them, before I got saved and before I met Jesus, this is who I was, and it wasn't like I really changed, because let me tell you something, and I'll be dead open honest with you. I smoked a lot of weed as a teenager before I got saved.
Yeah.
And even after I was saved, I think there was a period in my life where I dipped back into a few drugs, and weed was one of them. And I mean, hey, there I am. Hey, does that make me not still a Christian? Then, we'll have a theological debate over that, and you're probably Armenian and not a Calvinist. There it is.
Why'd you bring that up?
Well, something we forgot to go over, Keith.
Yes.
If marijuana was legalized in North Carolina,
would you?
You didn't answer that.
Would you partake in the reefer?
More than likely.
Yeah, we all know that.
I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, if it's legal and if I can drink a beer, then
it's pretty much the same thing.
To me, yeah, I probably would. I mean, because here's my thing: if they would, like, if I had I don't want to say glaucoma or something, but if I had like a cancer or something, and they would offer me something, and marijuana was one of those things, that would be the drug I would do to take care of my pain than any other drug, with all the chemical side effects and everything. Because I've smoked enough weed to know that the only side effect I have is a lot of munchies and a lot of sleep.
You're gonna go to sleep.
Yeah. So I would say that above all things. I mean, I was on some pain medication and muscle relaxers last week. As we know, you heard on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I stopped them on Sunday, and because it was messing with me, man. It was like my whole system was off, and I hated it. But I would. But something that reminded me, I remember the first time I did, because everybody's like, oh, I just felt the peer pressure, this, that, and the other.
Right.
Well, of course, I was skipping school. One of the things I did very well in high school. Gosh, I'm such a bad influence.
Good job.
I was ever a youth. Grace of Jesus, baby.
Grace of God,
Jesus. Baby. But I just remember we was hanging out, and some people were smoking, and and I'm not gonna lie to you, the smell was amazing, and I was like, man, that really smells good. I don't know why. It was just something about it, and I was like. He's like, you want to do it? And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I mean, so the next day we was back over there, and they were smoking a water bong, and what do you know? I'm like, let me try it, and then it was it from there. I'm like, I wasn't hooked, but I surely did like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, don't do drugs.
Stay in school.
Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Lord knows we lost everybody. But anyways.
We have like 2 viewers left, listeners.
Yeah,
listeners.
I was going to say, if they're viewing us,
they must be on something. Then.
Yeah. You need to put it down.
They're our kind of listeners if they're viewing us.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's enough about all of that. So that's our time spent talking about the draft and a little bit of riddling. Mm-hmm. Even though the Riddler's not with us, but we did a little riddling
and some reefer
and some reefer stuff.
Narcotics.
Yeah, we'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Farther along the way, know all about it. Farther along the way, understand why. So cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. Will understand this all by and by. Oh, yeah.
That was Josh Garrels with
Oh,
Father
yeah.
Along. One of my
First time
favorite
I've heard-
songs.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never heard it.
he's probably
arranged
one of
that
my
way.
favorite artists.
That's the
of all
orig-
time.
Yeah, Josh
on.
Garels. That's the album version.
Okay,
The
yeah.
original album version.
Yeah, I've never heard
Yep.
that song arranged that way before.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a
Yep.
traditional. Well, not a traditional hymn, but it's
Yeah.
it's an old folk song, old folk.
Do you know he just came out with the new album?
Oh, I know. I was getting ready to mention that Home is out, and I've got
Yep.
to check it out. It
Dude,
is.
it's
It is
so good.
It is on my to-do list.
Yeah, definitely check that out. It's a
Absolutely.
really fantastic album. Just like everything he composes is just so intricate and so like just different. And I
What was
love
it?
it so much.
The Mason Jar jams or the Mason Jar that when he did
Music,
the-
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just he's good. I like him.
Yep.
Kind of a quirky guy. His original stuff like The Stand and some of that the
Yep.
song Resistance.
Right.
I was all down for it. But it's time for meat and potatoes, people.
All right.
Hope you're
Let's
hungry.
chow down.
Yeah, it's time to and I had a lot of meat. Well, I didn't say I had a lot of meat tonight, but I did have some steak tonight. Cooked a little steak for the family, but it was with corn and
Very nice.
peas, and we
Nice,
left the
nice.
starch out of it tonight. So
Okay.
All right.
felt like I did myself a disservice, but I'm trying to pull this old belly down a little bit.
There
So
you
what
go.
we're going to do tonight is we in order to fill the time, we had everybody bring two questions or a question for two different people,
Yep.
and different questions. Hopefully, Bobby's not here, so it kind of cut down on
Yeah,
it
that hurt me.
because I really wanted to see what Bobby was going to do. Because Bobby, I sent the text to Bobby and told him, he's like, "That is so cool. I want to be a part of that." But unfortunately, Bobby couldn't be with us. But we miss you, Bobby. We love you. We know you're going to listen, Bobby. Next time.
You're missing out, man.
Yeah, we keep
Yeah.
missing out with us. But here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to leave it up to the three of y'all who want to go first. I'm not going first. And you can ask your question to whoever you want. And who wants to go first?
Nice. I'm gonna start us off here.
All right.
So since
Okay.
ever since my very first time I've been here with you guys, I've had this burning question.
Ooh.
Mr. Keith Hughes
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
always comes to these things dressed just so dapper. Button-up shirt, very nice. Some khakis.
He's a very dapper fellow.
He's a very dapper fellow, yeah, and just these really stylish shoes.
yeah.
Where do you come from? Like why you
Where do you
why
come from?
why you always dress so nice, man?
I want to answer this for him, but go ahead.
I don't know. I just like dressing like kind of nice. That's a tough question to answer, but
Is this the
I-
normal dress for you?
this is actually a little more casual what I'm wearing today.
Oh, man.
I'm wearing just a button down. It's basically an Oxford shirt, gingham shirt, and this pair of khaki chinos. This is actually more casual than what I normally wear. Normally at work, I'm in a shirt and tie normally, and we don't have a dress code. That's just what I wear.
Right.
But I don't know. I like clothes. I like looking nice.
Nice, man. Where are your favorite places to shop?
Oh gosh, depends on how much money I've got. I like Brooks Brothers, J. Crew.
Oh, of course.
Every now and then, Banana Republic's got something decent, but
Right on.
not always. It depends. It's a good place to find stuff on sale. But those are the big places. Actually, J. Crew has a factory line that is really good, and they've got some factory stores, factory outlets. Those are great places to shop because it's a lot cheaper than like an actual J. Crew store.
yeah.
Great tips, brother.
Let's just put it like this. To know Keith, when you get to know Keith, Keith is like a 65-year-old English dude in a 20-year-old
I'll take
American
that.
body.
That's
His nice corduroy jackets with the sleeves,
Yeah.
the sleeve elbow patches on.
yeah.
I'm a fan of patches.
He's a fan of the patches, and as long as and he wasn't always like this though,
That's true. That's
because
true.
I remember you in high school.
High
and
school, I was band T-shirts,
Yeah.
jeans.
yeah.
Oh gosh, I remember there's a picture of me wearing a black band T-shirt and some brown shorts and
Yeah.
like some
Black and brown,
Vans.
man.
Exactly.
Come on, dude.
And like some greenish brown Van slip-ons that are like a check pattern.
Oh yeah, the checkered ones.
Yeah.
totally.
Well, and see the thing is, it happened
white
somewhere
socks.
between between I think senior year and sophomore year at college. It just everything drastically
Everything changed for me.
Mm.
I don't know what it was.
Changed.
I don't know what it does
decided
either.
It's. I think I think honestly, what it is, it's something I can control about
Yeah,
myself
sure.
because
I've been through those
there's not.
phases. Yeah.
I mean, you can't control. I mean, you can get plastic surgery, but you can't control what you look like always physically.
Right.
But you can dress yourself however you want.
Right.
I mean,
As long as you have the means, right?
right, exactly. As long as you have the means, and I've always kind of liked that.
You're
That's
just like,
something I
man,
have
it's
control
time for
over.
change. These checkered shoes ain't getting the ladies.
Exactly.
They ain't pulling the ladies.
Well, and you know
like the Oxford shirts.
the funny thing is though, it works for him though. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Dude, you look great every day. Yeah.
Now, every now and then, I will go like, I call it youth pastor look, like, but really it's more of the hobo look is what it is, where I'll do like a flannel shirt and like a Henley and some jeans. And,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great, Keith and now, Skylar, that was a very good question.
I'm
That
glad.
really
I'm
was.
glad.
It
Everyone wanted to know.
Yeah, well, I didn't, but
Well, yeah.
I might have to rethink my questions.
so yeah, that was good. So who wants to go next?
I'll go. I might as well. Since Bobby's not here, one of my questions has become invalidated.
You'll think of a new one.
Think of something else in case you
Yeah.
need it, right?
My other one is somewhat generic, but I'm directing it specifically to Skylar because I think it would be interesting to hear his take, especially given his background. So this question is, if you died and someone asked one of your friends, what did he do with his life? What would you want him to say?
Man, people. So all right, I know. I got my best buddy from back home listening, Mr. Alex Jacobs. I know you're listening.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna
Thanks.
guess. I'm gonna guess as to what you would say. Skylar lived his life playing copious amounts of video games. Trolling as many people as he could while playing online. I don't know. Was very passionate about music, I guess.
Okay.
And just really loved his family and friends.
There you go.
Right, Alex? Would you say that? Like, comment, and subscribe our podcast.
Yeah.
If you would say that.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That's a good segue for a point. Hey, if you're listening to us, comment on the podcast.
Stop what you're doing right now and just comment.
Just go right on over to Facebook and say, hey, you know what? I heard this, and all I'm doing is saying, hey. We just want to say, hey. I was listening. I want to say, hey.
Just say hey. We'll say hey back.
And bless
That's a
your
good
little
question,
soul. What?
Yeah, thanks for that, man.
That was a good question.
That's
yeah.
cool.
That's a good question. Justin, you want to go? You want me to go?
Either way.
You go.
Okay, so my question is also towards Skylar.
Feeling popular.
So when you were growing up, like I know at least here in the Bible Belt, like pretty much everyone's Christian, and has and kind of grows up in the Christian faith like that. But for you growing up, and I know you didn't grow up in the Bible Belt, but for you growing up, was there like this sort of stigma, like you were the Buddhist kid? Growing up, because I remember like there were like one or two. There's like a family that lived a few doors down from where I lived growing up, and they were known as like quote the Buddhists.
Wow, that's pretty
know.
awesome. I'm trying to think. I don't. No, not really.
Or was it just more accepted? Just like yeah, whatever.
Well, I didn't really go around just like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Buddhist.
Yeah,
To like everyone I knew, and I guess I kind of just hung out with a few small groups of people like while I was in high school and stuff. So they all knew, but it wasn't like the whole general population of my peers was like, "Yo, what's up, Buddhist dude?" It was like I don't even know if like a lot of people even knew or what, but
Yeah.
no.
Okay, gotcha. I guess that's
Yeah.
also the difference between like small town,
Yeah.
kind of in the South. Too.
Yeah, I guess so.
I know you grew up in Iowa. Was it?
Yeah.
Where was it in Iowa?
Des Moines.
Des Moines. Okay, so
Yeah.
you were like in Des Moines.
Yeah, I was in the
Okay.
city.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty big city, just like a few years or so behind like Chicago or something like that.
Skylar just had the generic introduction. Hi, my name's Skylar. I'm a Buddhist, but not the fat Buddha. I got the other Buddha.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how he rolled.
The lean, muscular. sexy. Right? I don't know.
This is not an actual question I had, but it just made me think
Well, I
of
don't
it
wanna
talking
hear
about that because my wife is half Korean and half white, as Skylar's half Japanese and half,
I'm a quarter, but that's
Yeah.
the worst.
Oh, you're a quarter?
Yeah, I'm a quarter. My
Oh,
mom's
you're a
half
quar-
Japanese.
Oh, okay, but
But
you really
yeah.
picked up the Asian genetics a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
definitely did.
so how many times have you been called Chinese?
More than I've been called Japanese, probably.
Isn't it just the stereotype?
It
for,
is.
For
It is the
Americans?
worst.
Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're Chinese, huh?
Yeah, you're Chinese.
My favorite thing was we was at a Chinese restaurant, me and the family, and the Chinese guy looks at my wife. You Chinese? And she goes, no, I'm Korean. She goes, no. He goes, no, you Chinese. She goes, no, I'm Korean. He goes,
Where they
no, you
think they
Chinese.
know, yeah.
And then she goes, no, I'm really Korean.
It's really just like, what? Just stop, please.
And of course, in the churches down south, especially, I love when like the elderly, older women would come up to me and go, "You got such a pretty Chinese wife. She's a pretty Chinese girl." And I'm like, "That's not racist at all."
You know, I don't know what bothers me more, that or like people saying the word Oriental.
Yeah, that's
Like,
really
described.
disturbing.
It's weird.
Let me just put that out there real quick. Oriental is not an appropriate word to use.
It's not. It's not really.
This is a legitimate question because I understand that Oriental is not correct. Why is Oriental not correct?
I think it's a stereotyped word. Because the Orient, when it was a word used way back when we're going to the Orient and they're Orientals,
spices and stuff, right?
But it brings, I think, this for me, and I'm not even Asian. It's just because my wife is and my mother-in-law is full Korean. For me, it just sounds there's this. Well, think of other words for other races, and I'm not talking about derogatory words, but just the way they're described.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I can get you there.
It brings up a connotation and a picture that's not appropriate, and because they're not technically Orientals, they're Asians because they're from the continent of Asia, like we're Americans,
Right.
Because we're from the continent of America, and then of course we're Americans because we're the United States of America. But
I wonder if it had to do maybe with how it was used, because I mean,
Yeah.
if you consider the Orient to be a region,
Yeah.
I mean, then there are a lot of people.
if you
are.
want to be technical, then Kim wouldn't be Oriental because
She
she's
would
not
be-
from the region the oriented regions.
Okay.
She's from Korea, and then you could think about Thai people and people from Nepal, and I mean Asia's a big continent. So.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
true.
So it's just one of those
interesting.
things. It's like people don't use it. If you're listening, don't use the word Oriental.
So-
it's just bad.
So we've got Oriental food stores.
Yeah.
And then we have Oriental flavored ramen.
Yes,
We can't have Oriental people.
Wait, there's Oriental flavored ramen.
Oh yeah, there's
there
a
is.
flavor. It's the blue package.
Yeah,
it's
it's the-
Oriental
yeah, it's-
flavored.
Who makes that? Marichan?
Marichan,
Yeah.
Aren't they a Japanese company?
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
But that's the thing. They're promoting off of something that's like it doesn't make Oriental flavor. I'm like,
Yeah, what does that
What
taste
is
like?
that?
It tastes like
What
Oriental.
is it even?
It tastes like Orientals.
The real question is because they sell, like, seriously, there is a lot of prepackaged ramen that's sold in Japan.
Yeah.
What do they market it as there?
Well, but over there, the ramen. Okay, let's make one more point. Ramen in America is not like ramen overseas.
Right.
Not traditional ramen,
Yeah,
but the actual prepackaged stuff, they sell massive amounts of that.
No.
in Japan.
I'm talking about they do instant ramen there too, but it's still not the same as what we have here. Get rid of the mentality of top ramen, okay? Because most of it's already in the prepackaged bowls. Now they do have packaged, but a lot of the stuff I see is in prepackaged bowls, and it's a lot better than the stuff we have here. Like in Korea, the ramen is like like spicy kimchi flavor, seafood. They have real flavors. It's not Oriental. Because I'm sorry, but Oriental is not a freaking flavor.
I had all my ramen fresh in Japan, so
Oh gosh, I love.
oh, it was so good.
I've always wanted to go to Korea and go to a ramen shop. Like legit make the noodles fresh there.
Fresh noodles, fresh
yeah.
veggies, fresh
Now there's a
meat.
place in Myrtle Beach that does fresh ramen.
Really?
Name it.
It's a Japanese
Say
Korean
its
place,
name.
Saboya.
Saboya.
If you
Let's go.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah.
What are you doing after this? Let's go.
Yeah, we're just going to hit. They're closed, but we could.
No, they'll open.
They'll open for us.
You just have to say, "Open sesame."
Oh, that's terrible.
Okay, so Justin.
Yeah.
I may have the first in-depth question of
Okay.
the night.
Okay.
All right, so me and you've been doing a podcast for
Interesting.
this is number 19 for me and you, okay?
Yeah.
And there's always these moments on the podcast when I say something and you get this look on your face like, oh, like you just grimace, right? So there's this one, there's these moments that always gets me, because I think a lot, for me, I'm just going to say this, I think a lot of times Justin's always thinking, analyzing. And then at the same time, he's trying to, he's thinking about what he believes and what other people believe and all these things. Now, this is my favorite part. This is the one I love the most. Whenever I talk about creationism or evolution at the same time, he has these looks like,
oh, there it is.
Like he's got it. Yeah,
right, like right now. So here's what I'm going to say, Justin. Not that I'm looking for your belief system on what works for you and this, that, and the other, but what draws that grimace across your face? Because nobody on the podcast can see it unless they're listening very closely and they hear the
right.
It's like you scraped your knee or something, man.
I mean, it's a very touchy issue, and it's a thing that like I've personally been through a lot, like of going back and forth, and I've seen a lot of Christians fight over this, and I've seen a lot of just nastiness like between Christians about this issue. And so whenever it's brought up, it just brings back a lot of like, because really on the issue, like I'll give you what I think or what, because I'm kind of agnostic on the whole like Genesis thing, like and how long it took the earth to be created and all that stuff. Like I'm kind of just like I don't really care.
That's an interesting way to put it. Agnostic. I'm agnostic on Genesis.
I'm an agnostic on Genesis. Was it a poem that is just merely representative of humankind? Because I've translated. I've been like I study Hebrew here at college, and like I've translated like the beginning, the creation account and fall in Genesis.
Liberal Hebrew.
Yeah, I know. No, and like, Adam, that's man. It's translated as man throughout constantly. So it could be like mankind and woman, they created man and woman, ish, man and wife. And so it's like, was it a poem? Because it has very poetic, elements, that's representative of humanity, or was there a literal Adam and Eve? I don't know. And so I kind of remain agnostic on the issue because I don't think that matters as much as some other people like to believe it is. But I've just seen so many fighting and so much like, tension not only between Christians but also between people who are profess faith in Christ and who believe in the creation account and all that stuff, and people who are outside of the faith who they're like, oh, because of this science and religion clash and they can't get along at all because of this issue. And it's always evolution and creation, and those things that come up in the debate between science and religion. Well, and really, I'm over it. It's just I've stopped caring.
Well, and that's fine. I just want to know, because I was like, it just like, because I stand a certain place just because of the things I've studied, and I believe the way I believe. Which honestly, at the end of the day, like you said, I'm agreeing with you to the point that it doesn't really matter. Right. I mean, okay, so. If I believe that Genesis is a literal, book with not just an allegorical poem with, figurative meanings, but these are literal things that happen, and God did these literal things.
Right.
And I believe, and let me be very clear. I've studied science extensively. I'm not a scientist. I'm not smart enough to know it, but I've studied the things from both sides. I looked at evolution and I've looked at the creationist, points of view and what they say. And, I come down to a point, but see, my thing with creationism is this. And so I can make a stand with you since we're podcast fathers, right? But if I believe in creationism, and this may make a lot of evolutionists very, very happy. At the end of the day, my belief in creationism is less about science and more about miracle. So
right.
So for me, it's like I believe in Jesus.
I can get behind that.
I believe in Jesus because of a supernatural experience, not because of a evidence-based science experiment. Here's Jesus. I believe in him because it was supernatural and miraculous. That's why I believe in this God that is miraculous. And if that makes me, an illiterate dummy, then okay, I'm an illiterate dummy. But I don't believe that. I can study evolution, and that's the thing. I would have never made my assumption for one or the other, no matter which way I went. And I'm not saying there are many facets to evolution that I do not disagree with. I mean, I totally agree with a lot of facets of what goes on in evolutionary science. But the problem I have with people on both sides is they just discredit things based on the study of one. Right. The study of one and not looking at both of them.
Right.
You know, where all the Christians are up in arms. You know, we can't teach evolution in schools. I was like, you better teach evolution in schools, because if you don't,
it's pretty freaking important. That's kind of the whole basis of biology, or like on, evolutionary biology.
Right. And if you don't teach it, they're going to be, and I'll use the words very clearly, they're too dumb to stand against it. Because if you don't know what you're or fighting against or arguing against, you can't be smart enough to debate it at all. Right. And I feel that, you know, that's where I think, you know, and of course we say atheist because, you know, the big atheist evolution stance against Christians who have a creationist stance, and not all Christians do. I mean, there's a wide variety of Christians who have different origin takes.
Oh, yeah.
But they try to look at the Bible and understand what we believe, and probably to a point that they know it better than us.
Some of them,
yeah. But my thing is that, and this is where I land on it with Justin. Not that I'm agnostic about the things, but I say this: nobody can actually prove with real science how anything was actually created. And I don't care if an atheist says evolution is a fact and Big Bang was real. It may be.
Even though they were.
Yeah, even though they were, yeah. If you didn't see it, you don't know it. And that's how I feel. There's no way to test it and to quantify it in a way that somebody can do it with 100% assurity. So, you know, and it's fine. If that's what you believe from the things that you've done that gets you there, that's fine. But to me, it doesn't matter, because it's not where we started. And honestly, to me, it's not where I end. It's what I'm doing in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the journey.
As some great Christian speaker I heard once, it's not the date at the beginning, and it's the dash. It's your dash. What you doing with your dash? And I'm like, that was so cheesy, but yet it was such a good statement. You know, what you do when that dash is, what you do in that dash means the most, and that's what we're here to do. You know, at Forgetting Walls, and that's something I was listening to. Let me plug the Bad Christian podcast.
Do it.
And great podcast that if y'all haven't listened to it, you should. They had David Crowder on.
I'm slowly catching up.
Oh, the David Crowder podcast by far has been one of the most enlightening podcasts. But
nice.
You'll see what I mean when you get to it. But they were making some statements like, you know, a lot of stuff they're doing, like, you know, with Bad Christian, is they're pioneering some stuff. They're doing things that not a lot of other people are doing, speaking in the religious community. You know, how they make certain stances, and they believe certain ways, and they deal with people certain ways. And I was going to say, we're not really pioneering anything at Forgetting Walls. I don't think like true pioneers where we're doing something that somebody hasn't done before us. I mean, because Bad Christian does it a little bit. There's a couple other people out there there's kind of doing what we're doing, but I think we're doing it differently. Not too much different than some people, but there is some differences in how we do it. But I think that that there's some people that have come before us. We'll just say like Bad Christian. They started to pave a road, and we're on that same path with them. And I think that there's things that we need to say and we need to point out that that are beneficial for people to hear. Like, you know, like we talked about the marijuana thing before. I mean, I know we joked around about it, and I know I made my instance. But those are things that people need to talk about, and they need to talk about it in such a way where they don't get all clammy about it, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago with the taboo subjects, right? You know, where we're saying you're either silent about it or you scream about it.
Yep.
You know, we need to be open about these things and talk about them, and with compassion on one hand, but with honesty to say, okay, I don't agree with you on that point, but let's find this place in the middle where we can understand that I'm going to disagree with you, but I'm still going to love you.
Exactly.
And like we were talking about the evolution and the creationism thing, you know what? If I have to see one more smart person debate over the origins of species and the origins, you know what? Just say what it is. It's a place for us to make more money.
Yep.
So we can be seen and be heard. And it does nobody any good, because all it does, it splits people even more. Because, of course, I'm talking about the Bill Nye and Ken Ham thing.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, look, Ken Ham's so stupid. He believes that God created everything. Of course, atheists don't talk like that, but okay, Bill Nye, he don't know what he's talking about. He's so dumb, don't believe in God. He's going to hell.
But no, I know exactly what you're talking about. And when the club that I was president of, the Defense for Faith, the apologetics, we had a screening of that debate for one of our meetings, and one of the things I made absolutely clear at the beginning of it was look, you don't have to agree with either of these guys. You don't, I personally, I give and take a little bit from both of them. And so it's not like you have to pick a side and battle it out. Cause I feel like that's a huge thing, especially in that debate, is it's total conflict, and you have to choose a side and dig your trenches and then fight.
Yeah. Cause, when I was going through Liberty, and of course everybody tries to make fun of the Liberty guys, but when I was doing
easy targets,
sort of, and the thing is, a lot of people are trying to discredit Liberty for being an accredited university for medical and nurses and stuff, and you can go sit on your pot and pout if you want. It is a good school. It was a hard school, and I learned a lot there. But I was coming into this class about the time Miles Coster was coming to right before he started coming to church, and I was in this class. And when I was going into it, the class, I was got the class, the layout and the description of the class, and I thought it was going to be this whole thing about Genesis and the origins and creationism, and
right.
But I didn't realize that it was creation studies, which was literally a science class. There was very little to do reading scripture, but it was a science class because it taught us about cellular biology. It showed us the cell, and what it did, it taught me more about evolution than any class I have ever sat in.
That's good.
I mean, and of course, the guy who was the teacher or the professor that I had for this class was his whole life is spent into solving Alzheimer's. He's trying to figure out how to cure Alzheimer's, and he's it's some big fancy word like cellular nuclear or cellular microbiology or something like that. It's really crazy. And it was a science class, and a lot of it dealt with cellular level science. Of course, we talked about, carbon dating,
right.
dating, half-life dating and stuff like that. I mean, it was a lot of stuff. I have a book here somewhere, the book, and it was very interesting. It was my hardest class that I took at Liberty, literally. Okay. It was the only class that I got a B in, and that was on a paper, not the class overall, because I was a straight A student at Liberty. But I know, that's so arrogant of me.
Nerd.
Surely.
Just a little bit.
But it was strange because it taught me more about, evolution to the point where I could see, okay, I can see where the holes in this evolution is. And not that he was pointing the holes out, but...
Right. And that's something I was going to ask. Did the professor believe in evolution?
No, he didn't. He was a creationist.
Okay.
See, there's something that bothers me a little bit.
That bothers me too.
Well, no, not that that a creationist was teaching it, because I know plenty of people who can teach something better than somebody who believes it. But that bothers me is people say creationism and think it can just mean one thing, and people say why do we use those terms, creationist versus evolution?
It's just
because that seems like misnomers, honestly.
Well, it kind of is, but it's like just saying Christian or atheist.
Because there are a lot of Christians who believe in a more scientifically accepted origin story.
Yeah.
Right.
But they would say that God caused it, so therefore it is technically creationism. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, those are kind of weird terms to me because...
Well, and I know where Justin was going, but don't take it to the fact, well, because he's a creationist, he can't teach evolution.
No. I know that. But, I'm...
Well, let's put it like this. If the reason I learned a lot about evolution is because you got to know what it is. I mean, and he taught it. He would, the way he taught it was in a sense that this is exactly what the books say. This is what Charles Darwin says. And he didn't go on, and this is where he's wrong. He goes,
Right.
but what you have to look at is this here. And you have to look at this here. Don't just look at this without examining all the facts of these places.
Right.
Like, they talk about like fossil records. And I'm just going to give one thing, not that we get into a debate of it, but he gave
right.
a lot of things like, they talk about the fossil records and all these fossils. And he goes, but what about the Cambrian layer, what they call the Cambrian explosion, where there's this layer, the Cambrian layer, and there's all these fossils that are there, but when you go below the Cambrian level, there's no real fossil record beyond that. Now, how the truth of that, I don't know, but that's what it was shown. Now, I know you got grimace on your face, but but I've also went out to study these things on my own. And
right.
What I'm saying is, it's just at that point I was able to see it from a non-biased point of view. Because the funny thing is because of what he did for a real living outside of being a professor, was that evolutionary biology was a very big part of his makeup and what he did every day.
Right.
So for me, it was that he taught it from a Christian point of view, not as much of a creationist point of view. You see what I'm saying? Even though he believed in creationism because God was the cause of all things, like Keith was saying. Mm-hmm. So, and I know people who will listen to this will be, so against what I'm saying now, but it's just an opinion on what we think started. And Justin, I know we went a little bit on this, but I'm kind of like, now I'm not agnostic on Genesis because, like I said, I'm a miracle type of person. I like the supernatural. I mean, if I'm going to believe in this God who's supernatural, it's got to be supernatural.
I'm kind of the same way. Like, if I'm going to believe that Jesus Christ died and was resurrected from the dead,
exactly.
Why can't God form man out of dust? So
right.
And there's a lot of other things that play out for me, and we won't get into everything, but it's just like, it's cool to hear why you grimace every time I say it. Don't grimace. Yeah. I swear, I feel like you're constipated half the time we're talking on the podcast.
No, and it's okay. It's just like, I mean, we disagree on things, and that's all right. Like, and
snap, crackle, and pop.
Justin, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. We just lost the monitor feed.
Yeah, it's video. Sorry, it was on my end.
As long as you can still hear us, you can continue. You were speaking.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for grimacing all the time. Yeah. It's just like
it's okay.
It's these natural reactions to these things that like I've been really resistant to, and that's probably my fault. But like, I don't know, and it's okay because we can disagree on things and still have this conversation. That's the whole point of it.
See, and my thing is we always talk about disagreeing, right? We always disagree on things. I'm about to the point where I'm tired of saying we disagree on things. You know what? Because in humanity in itself, everybody disagrees on something.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, we disagree on what tastes good. You know what?
Yeah.
Nobody's out in the street debating that. Nobody's out in the street debating me why sweet potatoes. I should eat sweet potatoes. I hate sweet potatoes.
How do you hate sweet potatoes?
Shut up.
Oh, they're gross, man.
See what's happening here? We're going to have a battle. And this is what I'll tell you, Keith. I'm a purveyor of food. I love food. I eat all types of food. There's a lot of stuff I eat, but I cannot eat sweet potatoes. I cannot get over the taste. And this is funny. You know how close pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie tastes, right?
Very, very close. True.
I can eat pumpkin pie. I can't eat sweet potato pie.
That's weird. No, I mean, that's weird. No,
it is the same thing with the white chocolate. Like, you don't like white chocolate?
Well,
I don't.
That's a little different though, because white chocolate's not the same as chocolate.
White chocolate's gross. But
then I gave you like the thing at Christmas that had so much white chocolate in it.
But I think it's the way it's presented. Like, I can't eat like a white chocolate Hershey's bar. That's
really
nasty.
Sweet.
That's gross.
It's like
so
excessively
good.
Sweet.
And you know what? It's not that it's like a super, super bad taste, but it's just something I can't eat. Now, sweet potatoes, they're like, well, if you try them like this, I have tried sweet potatoes in every form.
You've tried.
The taste. And that's the thing. I do try. I don't just say I don't like it. Because, believe me, and I don't like yellow mustard.
I love yellow mustard.
Matter of fact, I don't like many mustards at all. They're gross.
I love all mustards.
But that's just me. I mean, that's just me. Now, I can eat stuff that a lot of people can't eat.
Yeah,
But Keith, you have a wider palate than most people do.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'll eat pretty much anything.
Oh,
in
no.
fact, I was in not an Oriental market, an Asian
There you go.
market the other day, and they had actual durian, and I actually thought, I was like, I wonder how much that durian costs. But then I thought about it, I was like, that's a big piece of fruit, so if I don't like it,
Yeah.
You didn't try it
what
out?
am I going to do with it? I mean, I've
Yeah.
tried durian-flavored things, and I know
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
the
me
same
too.
thing.
It does.
Yeah.
It tastes kind of weird.
It's
It's-
a big fruit.
The taste is okay. Of the things that are flavored after durian, the taste is okay. It's kind of this ethereal thing that it gives off. It's like an aftertaste plus a smell. That's what gets you. Like when you're actually eating the thing, it's like, oh, it's pretty good. It's sweet. It's got an interesting flavor. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, oh my gosh, what's in my mouth? There's what's in my mouth, and you like shut up. And you're like,
I wonder how many more of us
one
have had
time
that
at
thought.
band camp. No. But okay, I shouldn't say that. But no, really, you're like trying to. It's like the episode of Seinfeld, which was on TBS tonight, by the way, where the BO smell is in the car. You can't get it out. It's still there. Like a day later, you wake up and you taste this fake durian taste, and it's like you can't go on in life. I don't know.
I think we need to go and there's enough of us here. We can split it,
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should really do that. This was
and
the,
we should actually try it out.
I don't know exactly who owns it. I think they.
Where's it at?
It's the one on Car or Kerr, depending on
Kerr.
where you're from. In Wilmington,
Market.
Saigon Market. Yeah, I think the original owners or whoever are Vietnamese, from the name and from like most of the stuff there is Vietnamese. But they had durian, like fresh durian, just there.
It's a good market. I like that
Yeah,
place.
it really is. They got some good stuff. I had some candy, speaking of food, and we're getting way off topic, but it's really cool. Like, it's tamarind candy, and a lot of cultures
Yeah.
eat tamarind, a lot of
No, it's
Hispanic
good.
cultures. It's really good, but it's like got chili powder,
Yeah.
and it's made with granulated sugar.
Yeah.
So, and it's like surrounding the actual fruit, and it's got the pit in it.
Yeah.
That stuff is good.
There's a lot of stuff I like from the Asian markets. Yeah.
Yes.
Good word.
There's an actual Asian mart right there on 10th Avenue or Joe White Avenue now. There's a new one. It's a Thai lady who runs that. There's a Korean market, which, funny enough, is called Oriental Market, which I don't get that. I think they just, all Americans know us as Oriental, so we'll call it Oriental Market. But that's a good place. It's
Right.
ran by a Korean guy. In the Saigon Market up there. There's a Hong Kong market on 3rd
Yeah,
Avenue.
I've been there many times.
I don't like that store as much, no. But just
It smells like fish.
yeah, it's really the fish smell is really bad in there. But just around the corner is Black Thai Restaurant,
Oh,
which
yes.
we dine there
Yeah.
very often.
Yeah, that's a good place.
Anyway, so we got way off topic, but yes, Justin, back to the original point. I just think that where we're going with what we're doing is
Yeah.
really. That is different because, let's just face it. Skylar's been on the podcast and become regular and is working with us, the business, starting to work on the business side of things with us right now.
Right.
A lot of Christians would not do that
Right.
because, Skylar, you're not a Christian.
Yep.
I'm
For
not.
shame.
No. You're
Okay.
not.
I'm not a Christian, I guess.
No, you're not. How I just can't work with you. And that's what drives me crazy. It's like, man, come on, people are people. You know what?
That's ridiculous.
It's not
to me.
ministry.
No, and it's not
If
ministry.
you're defining it as
yeah,
not being
I don't
ministry.
expect Skylar. I don't expect hire Skylar on as the pastor of our church.
No.
Which,
Right.
I don't know. He might be better than. No, I'm just. Whoa. But
I decline.
But if I had a band in the church, and I needed a
Right.
keyboard player, and he was a really good keyboard player, but he was hanging around, he's my friend, I may put him on the keyboards. Now, there's a lot of people who say that would be crazy, but I'm not asking him to. I
think it's crazy.
No, I don't think so either.
From a standpoint of someone who plays a lot of music and a lot of music in church, no, I don't think that's crazy, especially for an instrumentalist. Now, it would be a little hypocritical if he was singing, though. I mean, I'll say that.
Well, maybe.
I mean, if you're, it depends on your standpoint, I guess, of what the purpose
Well,
of
let me
worship music is.
Vocals are just another instrument, man.
Hold on a second. you said that, all right, singing, it's maybe a hill. Now, how many people are sitting in that congregation at a church who has no...
I'll give you that.
You see what I'm
I'll
saying?
give you that.
If it's just singing the words, I don't really care. Now, if he's the leader, the worship leader, now then, okay, maybe we...
Well, and that's what it
Yeah.
come across as.
I think that's the distinction. That
Yeah, well, but
Keith
see,
was
for me,
making.
for me, you know, in all the bands we played in, the worship leaders were never the singers.
That's true.
I usually
Right.
had to do all the leading from the guitar. The guitar.
The guitar.
And then you had me up there singing, so there's that.
Yeah. but that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, that's just one of the things. And I want, and though we may not be pioneers in branching off to say, hey, Christian culture, wake up. You know, this is a new world, and we need to figure out how to live in this. No, yes, let's be cheesy. We're not of it,
We're not of the world.
but we're in
But
it.
in it.
And we need to know how to work and live and have relationships in it.
That's
And
true.
this is where our culture is, and we need to learn how to deal with that. You know,
Right.
because I'm going to tell you what, I'm not giving up the relationships that I built with people because, you know, they say, well, they're not a Christian. And well, guess what? If all I'm doing is hanging out with Christians, then I will never fulfill the Great Commission.
That's true. And when you think about it, I mean, the first century church, the very early first century church,
The original
the
church.
original apostles,
OG.
they were literally accepting a couple of other random people, the people who we consider apostles,
Yeah.
except for a few small other people that were in their inner circle. They were literally the only Christians,
Yeah.
and they didn't isolate themselves.
Yeah, well, we're talking at the most in all of the world at that moment before, let's just say right after Acts 2, we're talking what, at the most maybe 10,000 people?
Yep,
Yep.
that is incredibly small even for the population of the earth then.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but there was still a lot of people there then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And hey, that's where we're at today. So, anybody else got another question they want to do? Because
Bobby's not here.
Yeah, I got another question.
go ahead.
Yeah, Justin.
Okay, go for it.
How you doing,
2 in a
man?
row.
Doing well.
Good. That's not my question. I just want to know how you're just your general well-being. So I was interested. What makes someone want to be a religious studies major?
Good question. I ask myself that every day.
I have a couple of responses.
You had to ask that question when I was in the middle of drinking a sip of water.
We almost had that water all over his microphones.
So, what makes someone want to be a religious studies major?
Specifically you, I
Oh,
suppose.
specifically me? Okay.
Sure. You're the someone.
Well, for me, so it was after halfway through my junior year of high school, I got a call to ministry, and I was like, well, I feel like this is where God's leading me. I need to be involved in the ministry somehow in some capacity. And so it naturally came, I'm like, okay, well, I'll do religious studies. And then it came to a point, like, I was looking at all these different schools, like, should I go to a private school and do that? And I came to App, and I felt like, and it felt like home, and it felt like this is where I needed to be. And also, I wanted to be able to learn about all the different religions and how they work, and and more the secular side of religion, and sort of looking at it through that lens, so I could see that perspective, rather than just going straight into like a theology school, where the presupposition would be that yes, the Christianity is true. Let's and they move on from there. Instead, let's be like, hey, let's study about religion and not have religious instruction. And so for me, I wanted to gain like these critical thinking skills and be able to look at these different religions and how they're similar, how they're different, and be able to really communicate with people who do believe differently and be able to have that level of knowledge of these different systems.
Yeah, it probably would have been very tough for Justin to get on board with what I'm doing, what I wanted to do, if he was doing what he wanted to at maybe a Liberty or a Southeastern Theological Seminary, places like
Right.
that. Him being at App and doing religious studies from that point, which is it's really crazy. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of Christians in religious studies places at liberal arts colleges.
Right.
There are, but I think it's given him a better overall perspective to be able to come
thank you.
in. Yeah, and no, but what I'm saying is it really does help, and I'm going to be very I'm always very hyper spiritual when I get into these moments, but I think it's exactly where God needed him to be here now. He needed to go through those places to see those things, to have those studies, to be where he's at now. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that call BS on that, but like I said, when it comes to God and my faith through Christianity and Jesus, it's all about the supernatural part. Right. If there is no supernatural, I'm going to tell you that Christianity would be nothing. I would not choose Christianity because if there's no supernatural, then guess what? I'm going to be alongside the atheists or the agnostics or whatever because there's no reason to believe in it. I mean,
right.
That's an interesting point that I've always kind of agreed with, and I don't want to put anybody out or.
No, go ahead.
But there's a lot of people out there who say, "Well, I believe in this, but I believe that this is totally metaphoric."
Yeah,
it'll be various things. But that's always kind of bothered me, and not because I believe that you necessarily have to have a literal interpretation of the entire scriptures,
exactly.
Right?
But because, like, if you say you're a Christian, you've got to believe the supernatural stuff about Jesus.
Well,
you've got to.
Well, and
or
that's
he's a liar.
Well, but that's the whole point. Paul says the foundation of our faith is on the resurrection, and if the resurrection didn't happen, our faith is a lie. So therefore, you cannot be a Christian without believing in at least one supernatural event.
And if you believe in that, why is it so hard to believe in? Let's say this is a big one these days: Moses parting Red Sea.
Hey, I just translated that in Hebrew. Go for it, my friend.
Look, I think it's pressure of society and culture.
That's usually
because
what it is.
Look at how society and culture has progressed over the last centuries. It's becoming more and more rational and logical based off scientific discoveries. Whereas they would say, if you go back 3 or 4 centuries, everything was more mystical. There was this more supernatural, mystical. But as culture progresses and develops,
thanks Enlightenment
evolves, if you want to say that, they are getting away from the more mythical type of things with supernatural. I think that's what it is, and it's when you try to place all of your intelligence to understand something that is totally irrational in your culture, it causes a lot of conflict in your mind.
It definitely does.
One of my good friend's daughters that I've known since she was like 6. She came to visit one summer. Her mom had gotten saved, and they came to youth. And she and a brilliant girl, smart, intelligent girl, wanted to believe in Jesus. I think has some sort of belief in Christianity, but there was this intelligence that she had that she couldn't quite connect the supernatural with her intelligence, her rational thought.
Right.
And because of that, kept her from having that full-on belief.
Right.
So that was the thing, and I think that's one of the big things. Like for me, if I get to the point where I have to rationalize the supernatural, I think my faith goes. I think that's the part of faith that plays into it all.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So it's just that thing, and I agree with you, Keith. It's hard for me because I remember when I was in youth ministry teaching, I would always say, when it comes to the Bible, when you look at that word, even though I believe there may be, script errors, but I believe that not that it's inerrant, which, oh my gosh, I may be a heretic. Not that it's inerrant in its form now. I believe in its original form it's inerrant.
The original manuscripts.
Yeah. But I believe there's an infallibility to it, though.
I'll agree with that.
You see what I'm saying? Because, look, you can go... I got about 10 different translations over there on that shelf. And I've read at least 4 to 5 different translations from cover to cover.
Yeah.
And I can show you places where it doesn't match up. And it's because through it's translation, and it's lost in translation too, I think.
Even in the Hebrew, there's multiple ways it could be translated, and there's just some awkward things that you have to kind of just add word or two in there to make it make sense in English, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's just some textual variants and stuff like that. So
but I don't get bogged down in that, because
right.
this is the part where I come back with you, Keith. Paul gave us a specific place to found our faith in, and that was the resurrection. So that's where everything springs out for me. So when I realize that the resurrection is where I got to place my hope and faith, because that's the thing that's the thing that makes us alive. That's the thing that saves us. I mean, that's it. You know, that's the pinnacle of it all. Mm-hmm. That's the part where my faith has got to be everything in. So when I tell a person, I was like, you know, look, I'm not saying you got to believe 100% of the Bible, but if you believe in this one supernatural event that is absolutely crazy to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not only that, the implications it gives.
Exactly.
Right.
Then parting the Red Sea seems very minute to me.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand let there be light. That's pretty big.
That's deep.
You know, creating the entire universe with a word. That's pretty big. You know, I can understand why people want to fight about that. But coming off the cross, being put in the grave for 3 days, and coming back, now that's intense. That's supernatural.
Yeah.
You know, so those are my things. You know, so that's where I kind of lie on it. But I got another question. I'm going to give mine to Scholar.
Okay.
All right, Scholar.
Lay it on me.
This is going to be kind of a two-parter.
Okay, cool.
And this may run out our time for meat and potatoes, because this is, and I may not get to you both parts, but I want to go with this one, okay? I have this thing about Christianity, and not other religions, but Christianity and atheism, about morality. There's this standard of morality, right? That, you know, they say that because we're humans, we evolved into this morality, and I say that because of Christianity, if I wasn't a Christian, there would be no morality for me. To quote Matt Carter from Emory, I'd probably be a serial killer. Something really, really bad.
All right.
Just like, because I'm and where Jack would say I'm an inherently good person, I don't believe that, because I just can't see that in myself. I don't see it. Now, there may be other people who are inherently good, but that's not me. I don't.
Power to them.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're good, be good. So, being a Buddhist, right?
Yeah.
With morality. Now, and I want to kind of preface this that as a Christian's morality, it goes there's a lot of like deadlines and there's some gray areas.
Okay.
But when it comes to morality for you, like following a moral code, what are the no-nos and what are the maybes? And just give me like a couple of specifics. Like, well, we'll agree that murder's bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and rape and theft and lying's bad.
So
let's do lying, because that's always a good one.
okay.
All right, lying. As a Buddhist, do you think that lying is like a no-no?
So you have commandments, right?
Yeah.
That states all of those things, which are like
Yeah, something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that. Cool. Well, we don't really have that.
Okay.
So pretty much, you know, that's considered bad to lie. I mean, pretty much all that's, if you do it, it pretty much just affects your karmic pool, right?
So
It'll all, yeah.
So is it something like because I know what we talked about last time was a lot about, you know, the self-enlightenment and finding that way that brings you to a better place,
Yeah.
you know, to improve your karma. Like, I know lying's bad, like we don't want to lie to our parents, but what if somebody says, well, what do you think of my dress? And you go, oh, it's pretty. And you lie that way. Is that something like that's a no-no for your karma? Or is that good? Because, see, for me, but I'm going to say this: if I was to teach a young Christian about lying, I'd be like, "That's a lie. You can't do that." So, but and I'm not trying to pick on Buddhism, but I really want to understand that because it helps me process information a little bit better.
Man, that's nuts. That's kind of tough. That's kind of tough because you don't want to get slapped in the face when she turns around and
exactly, or you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings because you don't want to harm them.
That's true. I mean, you know, everyone tells a little white lie every once in a while.
No, we do. Yeah.
So, kind of a gray area, I guess.
Little catch-22.
Yeah, definitely. But I guess I can say a few more things about it. So, like, you don't necessarily have to say things out loud to affect your karma. You can think these negative things as well.
I like that.
And it does, you know, sort of like I get, an impure mind.
Yeah, no,
sort of thing. Yeah,
that's a very Jesus thing to say.
Yeah, that's why I said it. That's why I did say it like that. Yep.
No, but that's all right. So let me go to something like, and I know this is silly, but I've got to go here with it. Like,
please do.
A big thing for me, one of my big things that I have an issue with as a Christian is a problem with like pornography and lust and things. I've always had that for a long time, where I may be doing better now or at a point here or there, wherever. For me, that's like really that's like really, when it comes to morality, it's a really, really, really bad thing. And not just on a level because, well, for me, it speaks towards adultery in that sense, but there's also a lot of other implications that I know of. Now, if I was a Buddhist, now I know there's a lot of, self-thought and inner looking or whatever. I know I'm getting those things wrong. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible hillbilly.
Hillbilly.
You got that right.
You got all your teeth, right?
But how would you look at something like that? And I'm not saying that you're looking porn, but like, if you are, that's your business.
Well,
but how, like, from your faith standpoint, how do you look at that?
Doesn't really address it.
Okay.
It's just not something that's really concerned about. All right,
is it
here
something
we go.
personal? Is it more of a personal?
It's pretty much more of a personal thing. So, so we got Buddhism, and we'll throw Hinduism came out of the same basic areas.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard of this little book?
Starts with a K.
Yep, and rhyme, the Kama Sutra. The Kama Sutra, right?
Yeah.
It's a book about sexual positions.
Is it? Yeah.
So.
Well, no, I get where you're going.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it.
Okay, so
yeah, it's not really something that's addressed.
Yeah,
really.
But a lot of what you're based on is if it doesn't hurt you, like harmful to you and others, it's there's a big gray area personally on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean it's your own sort of responsibility to
police yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're self-police.
Okay.
Sure.
Word.
All right, cool. I just wanted to throw that out there. I always think about those things. Morality always comes up because everybody's always talking about the subjective nature of morality and things like that. So I just like to see where people go with it. Right. So, wow, that was a whole lot of stuff talking and this, that, and the other. Good questions.
We hit. I just want to throw it out here. We hit 2 of 3 possible very awesome points tonight.
That's
we hit sex.
Uh-huh.
We hit drugs. But where's the rock and roll, man?
Oh, don't worry. Music's a whole nother podcast. Music encompasses the podcast by itself. And at some point, we'll always go back to music because we're all music lovers. Mm-hmm. But speaking of music, guys and girls, that's meat and potatoes, man. A lot of good questions. I hope you learned a little something about us. Even though
I hope you
this
learned
is who we are.
about me.
Hey, but get this. I didn't even get a question, so that's super cool.
That's interesting.
We don't care about you, man. We really don't want to know anything.
Keith, we know enough about you.
Yeah, you talk about yourself too much already.
That's all right, though. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get me a drone. We'll be back in a minute. There it is. That was meat and potatoes. We'll be back with some, even though we're, what's the word I'm looking for? Jingleless.
Jingleless. I see.
Yeah, there you go.
Without a jingle.
We're going lacking in our jingles.
Right. Jingle lacking.
No jingle jangle for the juicy bits coming up. Yes, that's one of my favorite bands from one of their early, well, I think it was their first CD, The Ember Days and Selah. Oh my gosh, Absolutely loved it. I got a good story about that. You want to hear it?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure, I guess.
So, because I don't get asked questions, you forget about
Please
me.
share the
Offer
story.
information.
I offer all the information.
You didn't ask, but here it is.
Here it is. Hey, you want to hear the story? I don't care if you want to hear it. I'm telling you anyways. We played this. I remember in youth ministry before we had a band, we call it wall worship, which is funny. We would, I had a big wall and a projector, and I put the videos with words on the screen and or on the wall, and we, the kids would do
various background pictures, like lady reaching towards the sky,
or some very animated, inanimate type of designs, which was pretty decent. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I did a good job.
They're pretty good. I think they're still on YouTube, right?
They are on YouTube. The Keith Wilson channel, I think it's K Wilson 8 or 0874 if you want to check them out. Anyways, but I remember the first time I did that, and we had quite a large youth group at that point, and we was probably doing in that room like somewhere between 45 and 65, 75 kids at that point, which is not a large youth group to some churches. I mean, I know there's churches got like 200 kids, whatever. But for us, that was huge. In our small town, that was pretty big. And, man, the kids were like, they were into it that night. And when that part came, because this, like, if you go back and listen to the first part of the song, it's like, it's just very nice, chill, laid back kind of thing, and it just gets heavier and heavier and heavier until the part that comes in. I will praise, and I was like, oh, I love it. And they started like a little bit jumping and getting into it, and it was shaking the tiles below.
Yeah, no.
Pretty good stuff.
Nice.
And then of course I got chewed out for that, but anyways, juicy bit time, Justin. What do we got this week, man?
Yes. So, welcome to my segment.
Oh,
So, I found this thing actually I found this today. So, there's a Microsoft website which can guess a person's age based on an uploaded photo.
I found that today also.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, hold on a second. What's the website?
The website is how-old.net.
Well, we're going to get some first-hand experience with this.
Yeah. And so I've been going through just random pictures and stuff. And you can like use your own photo and stuff like that. But I actually just did one of Emery and like did Toby. And it's so funny when he has the beard, it says like 39, 40 years old, which is that's like, how old is he anyway? I don't know.
I have no idea.
He's 39.
Yeah. He's 39? Okay, so that's about accurate. But then when he has no beard, it's like 20.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
See, I did myself, and I'm 24, and it said I was 21. So I thought, heck, that's not bad. I mean, that's reasonable. My looks haven't changed that much in the past 3 years. So
there you go.
Everyone thinks I'm like 17, so I wonder.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone always thinks I'm older than I am, and I think it's because of the beard.
It's definitely because of the beard.
You're so wise.
So wise. So,
oh, you know it.
So you got to forgive me. I'm actually trying to go to it. What did you say that was again? I'm so dense.
How-old.net. Try this thing out. Just because I'm curious what you'll get, Keith.
It's pretty interesting. It really is.
Should I just? Do I have to pick a photo?
You can take
you can use your own.
Okay.
I know doing it for my phone, I could use the camera and take one right then.
Yeah.
All right. So
But you can use one that's already on your computer.
Yeah, I'm going through and putting one in right now.
Oh, this is going to be horrible.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on my phone right now.
So yeah, we're doing this in the middle of a podcast. This is gonna be great.
I uploaded one when I was 14, and let's see what it says. What?
What did it say?
It said 43.
Terrible.
I'm just trying to find the picture.
I found it interesting on there. They said that they were, if we got it wrong, if we got your age or your gender wrong, don't email us bad stuff. We're still perfecting this.
Right.
So how many people is it getting right though? I mean, does it talk about that?
I mean, no, it hasn't yet. It's a software right now, and it basically uses a really complex algorithm to like most things. So it's part of Microsoft's Project Oxford.
There you go.
And so they use algorithms to process face images, like face detection with gender and age prediction, recognition, alignment, and other application level features.
Wow.
And so
It says I'm
they get-
24. I'm 24.
They get like a huge database and kind of group like similar pictures together and facial features
Okay.
and stuff together and stuff like that. So
Well, I feel bad now.
It got your ballpark right, though. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
few years off for both you and
23?
your daughter there, but
Yeah, Jade, who is 18, is 23, and I'm 45.
yeah, it's about 5 years off for both of you, right?
Yeah, it is. It is 5 years off for both of us. I am not that old, people. Hold on, let me try a different photo. I don't think I have one that I'm shaved in. That's the problem. That one was, hairy.
oh yeah,
So it's always hard like that. I mean,
yep.
it's maybe I can do one when I was younger. Let's do this one. This is a great picture. What do you
All
think
right.
about that one?
Let's try that.
Oh, hold on. While we're on the
Oh
podcast,
my gosh, you look like Ryan. Oh my gosh.
hold on. I'll share the screen with you, Justin. We're on the podcast, just cutting up. I love this. This is so
Well,
great.
the screen's frozen. It's been frozen like the whole podcast. so-
Oh, it has? You can't see any of us? Can you see that?
Oh my gosh! Holy crap!
Wow, 31. How old
you?
was I there? Let me think.
Had to be in your 20s.
No, I was. Let me think. That was 1999. So yeah, it's got me a lot older there too. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So so go to your next
Justin,
juicy Justin bit.
real quick, Justin. I just took a picture of the screen
Oh no.
to guess your age, and it says you're 37.
Yeah. That's about right.
Got some
Like
bugs to work
so,
out Microsoft.
like even at places, like when I've gone and bought beer recently, like I haven't been carded, and I don't know what that says about me, but like apparently I look much older. So
Yeah.
it's probably just
Doing pretty good for yourself, man.
Whoever's selling it
I
to
mean,
you,
which is
not
nice right
product
now,
relations.
but then like in 10 years, that's gonna really suck.
Jason Segal.
Huh?
Jason Segal.
That was the pre-quitting smoking phase.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll post this picture on our Facebook and Twitter site. So if people listen to the
You have
podcast,
had some gray for a while, haven't you?
yeah, just a little bit right here on the side of my head. Yeah.
Hey.
It's the commonplace for the Wilson men to get gray first. Is right there on the side of the head. I don't know. I hate it. But yeah, that was pre-quit smoking. Just got out of the military, super skinny phase. I was about 145, 50 pounds there. 100 pounds lighter.
You weighed about 20 pounds lighter than I do now.
Yeah. So I was 6 foot. I'm 6'3". So
I'm 5'7".
yeah.
Wait a minute. Let
I
me
need to
pull up.
lose weight.
Let me pull up pictures here.
Then I could wear more clothes.
Wow. That's crazy. What's your next little bit there? Oh, hold on, Justin. That was.
Yeah.
Go back to that picture real quick.
Oh, hold on a second. I'm totally screwing things up tonight. There you go, Justin. That was a great bit.
Thank you. Thank you.
I could kind of see that, but more so when he's skinny, like in the
Yeah?
later portions
that?
of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh.
when he gets skinnier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can see that.
We got a Jason Segal comparison.
I'm not a doppelganger, but I am a drone killer. Justin,
Yes.
what else
All
you
right.
got for us? Give me something else.
So, and being in college, I found this news story really kind of interesting. So they have a list compiling the colleges that order the most food during finals.
Oh my gosh, I want to know.
So this
one.
online food ordering service Grubhub, it's a place where like you can order food online and like they'll deliver and all that stuff.
That's like
And
for
so-
groceries, right?
No,
So what?
it's for like restaurants.
Yeah. And so basically, finals. I'm currently finals week is next week, and already stressing out. There's a lot of people on campus that are just stressing out all the time in the library. I know this weekend is going to suck for me driving because of cookies, because people are going to be ordering so many cookies because they're stress eating. But that means big tips for me, so I'm kind of it's a give and take there. But so the official ratings, number 14 is Northwestern University.
Wow.
Interesting. Chicago.
13 is Boston University.
Okay.
12 is Georgetown. University of Delaware is number 11.
Interesting.
Then University of Pennsylvania, and I'm noticing a trend here already.
Yeah, this is all in the generally northeastern part of the nation. I mean, Chicago is Midwest, but it's still kind of eastern Midwest.
Exactly. Then we have University of Michigan.
Really?
Yep. Then University of Virginia.
Okay, getting a little farther south.
Yeah, University of Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Ohio State.
Really?
Syracuse. Ithaca. University of Wisconsin. Cornell. And number 1, do you guys have a guess?
I would have guessed something in Mississippi, but not now.
Harvard.
No.
No. Oh wait, hold on. Let me guess.
So
Let me guess. Penn State,
the orders from this university increased 46% during finals week compared to the rest of the term.
Penn State.
No.
Oh.
What?
Virginia
Was that Virginia Tech or Virginia?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
The farthest south it got was Virginia Tech in Blacksburg,
Yeah.
Yep.
and the farthest west it got was Wisconsin.
Yep.
You know
That
what?
is interesting.
You think I know the trend I think I get here is that these schools must not have a lot of local restaurants right around them,
Right.
or they just have the laziest students.
That could be it too.
Because I'm thinking like Duke and Carolina and State, they're all like really close to each other right there, and they have
Right.
a whole bunch of places to go eat. I
tons,
think,
yeah.
and just going off campus to like the local barbecue places and stuff is just the best.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I don't know. What does this say, Justin? Does this say anything to me?
I don't know, because like for me, like I'm guilty of stress eating too. Like that's a problem that I have, especially during exams. Like Netflix
absolutely.
and binge eating and binge watching, and occasionally binge drinking. Those are on the like things to do.
You got to
during
stop the
finals,
binge drinking thing. That is not healthy.
That's a no-no.
Out of all those things,
No,
that's
I
the
know.
one.
I know. No, I haven't done that in a long time. But
Okay, all right, then we're good.
but yeah, so I don't know. It's still interesting to me that those are all like East Coast, Northwest, like places. So
Do you think it's because it was from Grubhub?
see, and that's what that was my initial reaction. That Grubhub, maybe there's more like accessibility, or they serve more places around like the East Coast, and maybe they're not as big of a thing out west. But I don't know that. So
That's still very interesting.
yeah,
Very interesting thought.
Well,
yep.
I understand. I'm not a stress eater. I'm an anger eater.
Oh wow,
Well, an anger
that
eater.
explains so much.
I just like.
What does that explain, Justin?
You're a big dude,
Watch it
Keith.
now.
I'm always angry. All right.
Perpetually
So you remember earlier I was talking about I had a problem with pornography, right? And I was always trying to figure out what the issue was. Was it because I lusted after women? You know, I realized that a lot of times when I'm angry or upset, I do stupid things like I'll either go to pornography or I'll go to eating.
And for comfort.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a way to, I guess, comfort myself, and I realized that pornography was a horrible way to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That was probably usually when I was mad, even relationally. But
Yeah.
eating, all right. So when I got away from pornography for a while, like if me and my wife had a fight, I would go literally, I would go to the store and get like a Snickers and a Coke. And I'm not supposed to. I try to stay away from soda because it's really, really bad for you.
Right.
And of course, my wife's like, don't drink soda.
That helps.
So if she gets mad at me, or we have a fight or something, or a little tiff or whatever you want to call it, I go to the store and get a soda.
That'll show her.
Yeah, right. That'll show her. And then of course I'm the type of guy who's like, I'll go and I'll drink it before I get back so she doesn't see it. It's such a bad thing. I'm such a horrible person. Gosh, it's a wonder she's been married to me for 21 years. I'm such a horrible person. But anyways, Justin, great juicy bits, man.
Those
Thank
were
you.
very juicy.
Super juicy.
They were super. I definitely like the whole college thing because it just shows me that statistics are always going to be skewed somehow,
Yep.
some way.
Yeah, for
Somehow.
sure.
Right.
Man, I think we've had a good show today, and I've
think
enjoyed
so.
it.
I don't remember most of what we talked about, so.
You know what?
So-
It doesn't matter because Justin never remembers either.
I write the descriptions.
But you know what, Justin? I'm going to give you.
Yep.
I'm going to give you a super shout out this week.
Oh, thank you.
You did this. You did the summary and title this week without me sending you anything.
Yeah.
Boom.
And you know what? I enjoyed that. I enjoy that. Yeah,
Way to have some initiative.
you know what,
there.
Justin?
Thank you.
Thank
you.
I got to get better at my sound
You
effects
get
here.
the canned applause.
There you go. There you go. And Justin, just for that, I'm giving you a super duper shout out.
Bueller.
Yep. Good old
Bueller.
Ben Stein.
Yeah, there you go.
So, as a final question, I know the night we're recording this is Thursday night, on the 30th. So, tomorrow or midnight premiere, are any of you guys going to go see Avengers?
No.
No.
I am not.
All right. Well, that was
Well,
not
actually,
the
hold on.
exciting response that I thought it would be.
I would be going
Wait.
by myself, I guess.
When
that
the
would be
midnight-
tonight.
Yeah, the midnight premiere
Yeah,
will be
like
tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
absolutely not.
My
Because I
brother
have
did
to.
ask me if I wanted to go tomorrow, but
If it was like midnight, like when I worked a job that I didn't have to drive an hour to at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, then maybe.
I mean,
Yeah,
I guess I don't work until like 3 o'clock tomorrow.
he's probably there.
Sterling, I
You
think.
don't know.
Is he there?
I think
haven't seen him all night.
Sterling and Sydney are going tonight.
That's
But you know what I
Shout out
noticed?
to our number one fan, Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney, you are awesome, kid. We love you. Number one fan, number one Forgetting Walls fan. Absolutely,
one fan.
We gave you a shout out. Maybe we'll get her on
give this
sometime.
kid a shirt.
Sydney is my second oldest son's girlfriend, and I think they're supposed to go tonight. I don't know why you went. No, Justin, I'm the only movies I go to for midnight premieres are Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I was like, do you plan on seeing Star Wars midnight?
Oh hell
yeah,
yes,
for sure.
You're coming in.
I'm the same
You'll be
way.
in December for us to go see that together.
Oh, yeah, I'll be in town.
I don't know if Kim will go with me. Last time I remember when episode 1 came out,
Yeah.
and
1999.
I'm sorry.
don't be sorry, because if it wasn't for Darth Maul, I would have shot somebody that night. But Darth Maul was in it, so I was happy. But I did go to the midnight premiere, and I was like, I wasn't going to go, and I was, and I was all jonesed up for it, because like 2 weeks before, I went to the midnight opening of like the Walmarts, and when they released the first line of toys for episode 1, I was in the store at
Nice. midnight
getting this toy. Yeah, I'm a geek when it comes to Star Wars.
That's cool.
But yeah, I will probably be there. But yeah, when episode 1 opened up, I went by myself, and the theater was packed. The line was long. I didn't care. I was going to see Star Wars episode 1.
Right.
And I
Nice.
did. But anyways, good stuff. Yeah, no, usually I don't go to midnight premieres because I just don't like all the people there.
Yeah, I think I've only been to one midnight premiere, and it was to episode 3.
Yeah.
I went with that.
Yeah.
Dressed up as a Jedi. Rock on.
Yep.
I used to rock some Harry Potter premieres, but there's no more of them. So,
Yeah, sadly.
No.
You are a Harry Potter person.
yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoy Harry Potter. And there go
Me
the
too.
rest of our conservative listeners.
Yeah, they're not just conservative listeners, just Christian listeners in general. We have run them all out of the house tonight. We have been all over the place.
Yeah.
And being that we're about to hit the 2-hour mark,
Oh, we should
Yep.
stop.
we should probably get on the road. But I just want to say this: everybody that's out there that's listening, I'm about to get on Facebook here and really talk to our Facebook people. But if you're listening, all we want you to do is say, hey, go out to the Facebook page. I don't care if you go to the podcast page, but go out to the Facebook page. If you're listening, like it if you haven't liked it, and leave us a comment on this episode. Tell us what you think. Tell us that you listened to it. But if you're listening right now, just pause it or wait another about 2 minutes and go to Facebook and tell us something. We need some
Yeah.
feedback.
There's plenty in this episode which you could discuss and get on.
Yeah.
Feel free to disagree because you probably
Oh,
will.
yeah.
And if you disagree, it's fine, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're still going to love you. And
if you
hopefully you'll
leave
still love us.
And if you leave us a comment, I guarantee you a free kiss on the lips from Keith.
Which Keith? Nose goes, not me.
That's
Success.
Well, it has to be that Keith, because this Keith will get stabbed in the face by his wife.
She won't have to know about
That's
it,
where
man.
Chuck gets the violence from.
There you go. But anyways, I'm Keith Wilson.
And I'm Justin.
I'm Keith Hughes.
I'm Skylar Miller. I'm glad we know our last names.
Yeah, because I was always wondering if I was going to do it. But for Bobby Dagnes, who's not here, who was supposed to be here, Bobby, we love you. Just want to remind you, man, it was so good I don't even want to end it. But
Yeah, I know, right?
people are not projects. They're people just like you and me. So love them like you love yourself. And guys and girls, we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Forgetting Walls podcast. If you're subscribing to us on iTunes, leave us a rating to help us spread the word about this podcast. Remember, the only way this works is if you share your story. So be sure to visit the website and leave us a comment at forgettingwalls.com, or find us on Twitter at forgettingwalls and facebook.com/forgettingwalls.
Peace!
I find your lack of faith disturbing.